Hello and welcome back to Tactical Tuesday with Johnny Tiger on November 7, 2023. This video is proudly sponsored by Hidden Corner Finds. If you are already stressing out about Christmas shopping and all that holiday stuff, take a load off your shoulder. Go check them out. If you're here locally, in Canada especially, Hidden Quarter Find is a great store where you can find great toys and action figures, retro gifts, and antique goodies. And there's going to be something there for everybody. The price is very good. They do combined shipping. And if you email them ahead of time, tell them what you are interested in, maybe they will even give you a special deal, especially if you mention Tiger Tactile or Johnny Tiger. Yeah, give that a try. You may be surprised. So, today we're filming at a relatively low angle because we're going to be revisiting this topic about leg sweep. One time, a student of mine came up to me after class, and he's a bouncer, so he's not like a totally green newbie kind of guy. He has been in his shares of fights and stuff like that. Then he came up to me after class and he said, "Hey, I was in a situation the other day, and I realized that the leg sweep doesn't work." So I asked him, I said, "What do you mean the leg sweep doesn't work? What exactly did you do?" And he said, "Well, there was a customer that was getting belligerent and was getting physical with the other bouncer. So I came up behind him and I put my hand on his shoulder like you taught us, and I sweep his leg from behind. And I was thinking that he would go down, but he didn't. He just turned around and started attacking me. So I said, hey, okay, show me what you do. What did you do? Show me what exactly you did. And I'm pretty sure I can tell you right away what's wrong with the technique. So he did. I turned my back to him. He come up to me, put his hand on my shoulder, and we'll use Wesley here. Although he's not a very good substitute right now because I have to hold him up. Doesn't stand very good. So he came up behind me, put his hand on my shoulder, and then he sweep. And then that's it. Yeah, I didn't fall down. I didn't fall. So, thinking that a lot of us might have experienced the same situation here and there with the leg sweep failing, we're going to revisit this even though I believe I had a couple of videos before talk about this very same subject. But it is one of those basic techniques that a lot of people have issues with. And most of the time, it is not the techniques that's the problem, it's the operator. And I'm going to tell you guys why. I'm going to narrow it down to three essential elements why you may be failing your leg sweep. Before we go into that, let me first point out, yes, leg sweep totally work. Okay? Even someone who, like me, who's been very experienced in various martial arts, been doing this for almost 35 years. If I run into someone who's really good at it, I'm going down, right? Next week, totally work. There's no question about that. Don't ever let yourself question that. There are many martial art moves that are kaka or fufu that don't really work, but leg sweep is not one of them. Leg sweep absolutely work. Number two, I don't personally do leg sweep that much. I almost never do leg sweep. Or if I do leg sweep, I'm pairing that with some striking movement. And we'll go into that in a little bit. But part of the reason why I don't do leg sweep is part of the reason why I personally don't recommend leg sweep as your go-to fighting technique. Because leg sweep is one of those things that have to be very precise. Okay? When you go for that leg, whether you get them on the ankle or a little bit too high on the shin, or you get them on the knee, or if you're just a little bit too far away, So rather than your ankle getting their ankle, it's your foot that gets their ankle. Or if you're too close in, rather than your ankle getting their ankle, it's your calf that gets their ankle. All that is going to foul up your leg sweep. Okay? Just a little bit of missing angle is going to mess that up, which means it is not a blind friendly technique unless you really, really know what you're doing and the person is standing relatively still and very close to you. So the three elements, the three reasons why leg sweep can fail sometimes. Number one, and this is the biggest one, this is why that student who asked me about leg sweep, this is why his was not working. You're not committed. What do I mean by that? Okay, leg sweep require you to sweep and move the person or throw the person down to the ground. So if you're not committed and you just go like your own hip is staying back, right? If I'm sweeping, nothing's going to happen because all you're going to do is pick the person's leg off the ground and then they put it down again and the balance is back. Okay, so if you have to do a leg sweep, you need to commit to it, and this is true to most grappling, grounding, throwing technique. If you are not committed, then don't bother because if you don't commit, it's not going to work. Leg sweep should not look like me just sticking my leg out and sweep. Leg sweep should look more like me sticking my leg in there and then step in aggressively. Okay? That's how a leg sweep should look like. If you just burp, burp with your leg, that's not going to work unless the person is drunk or has extremely bad balance, or you catch them just as they're walking. Then maybe it will work. But most of the time, leg sweep like that, those non-committal little leg sweep is not going to work. Number two, why your leg sweep may be failing is when you sweep and you fail to coordinate that sweep with your upper body motion. Most people think I just sweep the person's leg out and they fall down. No, the upper body is what makes them fall down. It's not the leg. Okay, let me put Wesley to one side for a second. If I am standing here or fighting and someone just sweep my leg, no matter how committed they are, if all that happened is my leg going up, right? That does I don't fall down, right? Even if they catch me as I'm walking, because I am pretty good at balancing, right? I can even punch. I can even do still attack with one leg up in the air like that. Okay? So if you don't coordinate your leg sweep with the upper body movement, it's not going to work, especially on someone who's experienced. Let me show you that this one can show on myself, right? As you can see, I can put my leg out and I don't lose my balance, right? So if someone sweep my leg, nothing gonna happen. But if you grab like this onto my collar, I'm doing it to myself, so it's a little bit hokey, but you guys will get the idea. If at the moment my leg go out, I pull out my own collar like that. That's me doing it to myself, and that's enough to make me lose balance, right? If I put my palm against my body and I have my leg go up and I shove myself, I lose balance. This is how you get your leg sweep to work. When you do your leg sweep, that upper body has to be either pulling or pushing. Okay, pulling or pushing. It's that simple. If that upper body is not doing anything, that leg sweep is not going to work. You're wasting energy. Number three, this one is fun because sometimes, a lot of times, this is what's going to happen. We're grabbing each other, we're shoving, and I think, okay, he's this close. I'm going to go in for a badass judo leg sweep. I'm committed. I went in with my body. I even push his upper body, but he's not going down. Why? Because you are letting yourself being used as a support, right? A lot of people that grapple, especially new people that grapple, forget that the most natural thing for someone to do when they're falling down is they're going to grab something. And most likely that thing is going to be you. So if you do your leg sweep and you commit, and then the person does this, well, now you're in a very weird spot. They're leaning their weight on you, they're not going down, and they're probably still going to be hitting you and then pushing you, and now you're off balance, right? So you need to always think about which way am I pulling them or shoving them, and how do I get myself out of the way when I do this so they're not going to use me as a crutch. So rather than, if we're this close, rather than sweeping from the inside, knowing that he most likely is going to grab me and I'm going to be off balance, I'm going to sweep and turn. Huh? When I do this circular turning motion with my sweep, suddenly he has no way to grab me because his body is swinging around. Right? And this is partly what I'm talking about. For me, as a blind person, a lot of times sweep don't work when I do them because it's hard for me to be accurate on the person's leg, on where, like, if we're this far apart, if you're an arm's length away from me, I know where you are, so I can punch you. I know where you are, so I can do other move. But for me to actively sweep your leg, it's very difficult because I don't know what stance you're in. I don't know if you got your left leg forward. I don't know if your right leg forward. I don't know if you're in a horse riding stance. I don't know if you're just standing with your leg closed like this. So when I don't have that kind of information, it would be foolish for me to go for that leg sweep because there's a big chance of me getting nothing. So for me, and this is a tip for other blind practitioner in self-defense or Krav Maga, this kind of stuff. It's not that you can't use leg sweep, but you got to pair it with your other attacking forms first, such as striking, uh, arm grab, head grab. Okay, this is one of my favorite. If I can punch the person in the face and then get my arm in there around securing the headlock and my hand grabbing one of their arm, then I just sweep and down they go, right? Because now I know where the legs are. Leg sweep is one of those bread and butter for judo, for many wrestling-based martial arts. It is simple and yet complicated, and it takes a lot of practice because you need to have good coordination, good balance, and be very precise. And you need to be able to think ahead. Okay, is this person going to grab me when I sweep his leg? Should I move him to the left or to the right? But with enough practice, leg sweep absolutely works.